That first stage number one to decide, and all of my best clients who've had the best results all get systems champions, and they make time and make space for them. And the best ones, all of my super strongest clients ended up getting a systemologist to train the systems champion. So they ended up getting a systemologist, found their systems champion. The systemologist trained and oversaw the systems champion for the first few months to get them up to speed, to create the gold standard. And then they were off and running. And then the systems champion ends up taking over, or they might continue to work with the systems champion. But in this decide phase, you need to ask yourself questions. How many hours is this person going to be? Am I going to find this person internally or externally? What is the budget that I'm going to put into place here? And you probably will only start with maybe a 3-month trial period or a contract for 3 months just to start the process. I think finding a return to work mum or dad is a great place to start for this particular role. Then again, at the end, I've got the links. There's the position description. I'll just give you a page with all of the links, and they'll get added to the resources page. Then we think about the job ad and thinking about the target audience, what would be attractive and make this a fun, interesting position to apply for. And I've got a template there that you can look at. But you want the person who's looking at this particular position to get an idea of what skills are required and what they might need to do to be successful in this role. Now, where you place the ad will depend on where you're at. If you have not done much offshoring, if you have not done much working virtually, and you find it challenging and you're still perfecting that muscle, I'm going to suggest that you recruit in your local country. Pay a little bit more. If you've never outsourced before, recruit the systems champion in Australia or in the US or Canada or wherever you are. The rate will depend on the country. Like if you're recruiting in Australia for a systems champion and you're recruiting locally, it might be $25, $35 an hour. You probably do something similar over in the US. Oftentimes looking for a return to work, mum or dad, that is looking to get back into the workforce, and you're able to offer them flexibility and the ability potentially to work from home, is very appealing. You can get someone who is highly skilled, who might be ex-corporate, who can't go back into the corporate work, or they've had a taste of life working from home after COVID, and they want to continue with that sort of lifestyle, and they're happy to compromise on pay for flexibility. This is perfect. Maybe it's a dual role that you need to think about as well. Oftentimes, and we saw a couple posts in the thread there that people were saying, they're an HR person or they're an administrative person. And so you might have a little bit of a dual role. Where do you post the job ad? Again, I would just start off in your local country, go to Seek or Monster or Indeed, or think about exhausting your immediate network. Who do you know? Post it on your LinkedIn. Talk to business groups that you're involved in, ask around. Like, you have to first decide that you want this person and get the particulars down and get a position description. Then you write the job ad, and then you start to circle that job ad, and the call to action in the job ad is to go fill out the questionnaire. So at the end, it's on the final page, you'll see this where it says, great, go fill out the questionnaire. Now I won't go through it now, but in the ad, I talk about the different qualities. In fact, maybe if you want to type that into the chat, what do you think are some of the qualities that a systems champion would demonstrate? Things like attention to detail. If you can, Zach, read my mind. That's exactly right. They're tech savvy. They're excellent with their communication skills. They're curious. Another good one. Gold star for Zach. Organized. Love structure. Perfectly. They're self-starters. They have the ability to organize themselves and don't need someone sitting over their shoulder. They're teachable and coachable, and they love learning new technologies. A lot of this stuff is in the job ad and in the position description, so I don't need to go over it. But again, you think about who it is that you're looking to attract. Then we have a questionnaire. It looks like this. I'll give you the link. They fill out the questions. I'm going to share with you we do it through a service called Paperform, but I know Simon's going to rebuild this into Google Docs for you as well, or Google Forms, if you just want to duplicate it and then make it your own. Once those applications start coming in, you do some initial screening. You knock out people who it's immediately obvious they're not the right fit for this particular position. You can tell by the answers. You don't want someone who half writes a sentence, has poor grammar, and it just doesn't feel organized. They feel messy in their writing. Well, they're probably not going to be a good systems champion for you. So you start to screen through that level. You pick out the ones that you like. You give them a trial task. I'll give you the trial task that you can give them. A very simple task, basically saying, you're applying for this particular position and watch this video and create a system for me. You deliberately keep it broad. You give very little instruction just to see what they do. How quickly do they get back to you? What does it look like? Do you think it's helpful? Is it organized? Is it have enough detail? Do you think that there's some value in the system that they created? Then of that, we shortlist the applicants. We've got those 50 applicants at the start. We get 20 that we ask to do the trial task. 10 of them actually do them. We then get to the interview process and we filter it down to the 3 or the 5 that we're going to interview. Now, when I interview, what I'm really looking for is recurring habits. I want to talk through their past history. Like, where did you work previously? What did you like? What didn't you like? Why did you leave? The interview questions I'll share with you. There are some systems questions all the way through. I've interweaved, whether it's in the trial task or in the position description or in the interview questions, there are little elements, little nuggets of systems DNA built into those questions to get the systems people to try and start to shine. So you want to go through this process and then do the interview. Generally, I like having 3 people on an interview. I'm doing the questioning. I've usually got someone else who takes notes and things like that, so I can focus and be present on asking the questions. And then you'll obviously have the applicant. Yeah, questions. Murray did a really good one there around what would your boss say about you? Tell us about some of your biggest accomplishments, and tell us about a system that you've created. Again, some of it's you'll see them all in the questions that I give you, and then you finish up with a scorecard. Of the 3 to 5 applicants you've got, you then start to rate them on some different criteria, and do you think they're going to be a good fit? If you remember the pro tip, like that's a rocking recruitment system that can be applied for all positions. I've just given it to you for the systems champion, but once you document this and you turn this into a system and you've got an administrative assistant who can help execute on it, everything up until the interview can be handled by someone else. And this is a system worthy of developing, because the difference between an A player and a B player is worlds apart. You'll get 10x the output from an A player. A players just get it. Spend the time on recruitment. Sometimes you think, oh, well, that sounds like a lot of work. But if you get the wrong person in and they stick with you for a period of time, there's 2 things that you lose out on. There's the cost of training that person up and retraining them and giving them feedback over a period of time. That could be a huge amount. Plus, there's also the potential opportunity cost of getting the right person. Getting the right person, they could produce 10 times as much.